Okay, so I got some great news if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan or Kyrie Irving fan or Kevin Durant fan, all right? But the New York Post is reporting that there's an inside source that's telling them that's close to Kyrie Irving that Kyrie Irving never once asked the Brooklyn Nets for a trade. And in fact, he plans to remain a player for the Brooklyn Nets, even beyond this 1 year contract that he opted into for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, if you've been following my channel, if you've been following my live streams and videos, I have been saying this from the start that I fully expect not only Kevin Durant, but Kyrie Irving to remain on the roster for the Brooklyn Nets. I also told you guys that I just did not see it feasible, possible, remotely possible that Kyrie Irving was going to get a sign and trade from the Brooklyn Nets to go to the Los Angeles Lakers. There was nothing on the table even about trading Kyrie Irving for Russell Westbrook in a swap. I've told you guys on this channel that no one's interested in Russell Westbrook's contract. They're not interested in Russell Westbrook nor the contract, which is upwards to 40 plus million this year. And I told you guys there's really no market for Kyrie Irving. There's no team that is willing or want to trade for a headache of Kyrie Irving when he picks and chooses when he wants to play, how he basically go in and ruin franchises, make it rough for franchises. You know, when he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, everyone gave him a pass for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just say, well, that's just the ownership. That's just the Cleveland Cavaliers being the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's all the Cleveland Cavaliers' fault. It's not Kyrie Irving's fault. He went to the Boston Celtics, and people started seeing the cracks in the armor of Kyrie Irving. And now he's with Brooklyn, doing pretty much and having pretty much the same behavior he had when he was with Cleveland and the Boston Celtics. No one's interested in Kyrie Irving. The market is dead cold for Kyrie Irving to be, even as a free agent. If he opted out of that contract, the only team that would be remotely interested in Kyrie Irving if he opted out of that, if he opted out of his contract, would have been the Los Angeles Lakers. But the Los Angeles Lakers are desperately seeking Susan, desperately bad shape, trying to infuse any type of talent or shooters in the open market. And yeah, they would have been interested in Kyrie Irving, a 1 year, $6 million contract. But you mean to tell me Kyrie Irving's going to give up a $30+ million contract if he opted in? And he's that upset, he's that big mad for the Brooklyn Nets that he's going to opt out of that contract and take a measly $6 million for the Los Angeles Lakers. That was not going to work. When he opted in to that final year of his contract, he's basically telling the Brooklyn Nets he's on board and he's willing to play, be on his best behavior because he's playing and fighting for a contract. This can be indeed his last big contract moving forward. I already named Kyrie Irving, a.k.a. the Antonio Brown of the NBA, but I digress. Let's talk about Kevin Durant, shall we? Yes, I do feel like Kevin Durant was hurt that the Brooklyn Nets didn't want to sign Kyrie Irving long term. And like spoiled rich kids, they're going to say things that they don't necessarily mean. They're going to behave in a way that really don't represent or embody what they fully mean. Kevin Durant, yes, he probably requested a trade. Requested is different from demand. He probably requested a trade to go to the Miami Heat or the Phoenix Suns. And when he starts looking at this roster, particularly the moves Brooklyn has made thus far, and he still hasn't played with Ben Simmons, the possibility of that dynamic blossoming under that dynamic. You got someone that's willing to take on the defensive responsibilities. Therefore, you can just move around the court and just be Kevin Durant. Plus, you got a fully energetic, motivated Kyrie Irving that is fighting for his life career-wise in the NBA and also fighting for a big-time contract. You got that aspect, okay? Plus the pieces that they have signed this offseason. The Brooklyn Nets sound more intriguing than the Miami Heat or the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, if you look at their roster, they're getting older, all right? They have questions. It's not a full-blown guarantee that they're going to make it into the finals. Have you watched the Golden State Warriors? They just won the title, and the Golden State Warriors look like they're in it for the long run. For the next 3 to 4 years, the Golden State Warriors could be representing the West in the NBA Finals. Have you looked at the Miami Heat? That roster has question marks too. And think about this. The Miami Heat will have to give up so much to get Kevin Durant. Literally, Kevin Durant will basically be starting all over with the Miami Heat. They're definitely going to have to get rid of some pieces or trade some pieces in return for younger players or draft picks to intrigue the possibility of the Brooklyn Nets wanting to trade with them. And still you have to wait in between all this time. So, and it's not a full-blown guarantee that the Miami Heat, if they trade away what they have right now to another team, it's not a full-blown guarantee that they're going to even get Kevin Durant. Do you guys understand the dilemma Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and the Brooklyn Nets find themselves in? Even if we look at it on the outside looking in, let's just say the Brooklyn Nets are sick and tired of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving's behavior. They're acting like spoiled little rich kids. Even if you look at the perspective of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant is mad at the Brooklyn Nets. They've been mad. They're big mad at the Brooklyn Nets. And they want to get up out of there. They want to get up out of Dodge and go into situations where those situations will have to give up so much to get either of those players. Do y'all really think that this was going to work? That they're going to get traded away? The Brooklyn Nets are going to start all over? I told you guys in numerous videos and in numerous live streams, I was not a fan on the recent rumors and news. And I know a lot of YouTube content providers was pushing this narrative. Now you got these same guys that says, oh, I guarantee by the end of next week. When is the end of next week? The end of next week. People have been saying the end of next week for the past 4 weeks, all right? Saying that it's a foregone conclusion. Kyrie Irving is going to the Lakers. It's a foregone conclusion that Kevin Durant wants out. He's going somewhere by the end of next week. He's going to wherever he wants to go to. And now you got these same content providers talking about, oh, wait a minute. Kevin Durant's definitely leaving the Brooklyn Nets next season. Oh, wait a minute. Kyrie Irving is definitely leaving the Brooklyn Nets next season. Okay? Wow. You put a lot of heart and soul into that. So I do guarantee that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are going to be members of the Brooklyn Nets. We know that for sure. There's no rush to trade Kevin Durant from the Brooklyn Nets standpoint. Kevin Durant has gone in ghost mode, but eventually Kevin Durant will appear and have a conversation with the front office of the Brooklyn Nets moving forward about his future. But ultimately, he's going to remain with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, maybe next year or 2 years down the road, we might retread and revisit him wanting a trade. Okay, if things don't work out, But I fully expect both of these players to be there this up and coming season. That's as much as I can guarantee for you guys. All right. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. Deuces.